All right, guys, you asked for it, and guess what? The John's Arcade t-shirt is now available. Some of you guys suggested I start one of those Teespring t-shirt campaigns, and well, I did. If you go to teespring.com, T-E-E, spring.com/John's Arcade, you can order the John's Arcade t-shirt now. Now, I have a bunch of different styles and prices. There's the Hanes t-shirt, which is like 16 bucks, the American Apparel one, which is 24, there's a hoodie, there's kid sizes, there's women's t-shirts, whatever. They all feature basically the same design. The front has the John's Arcade logo. It also says, hey guys, we're in the basement. And then on the back, I thought we'd do something a little different. A little different than what we discussed, okay? I did like a little silhouette of me opening the can of paint. You remember Journey Restore part number 15, and it says, this is brown paint. I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. So hopefully you guys like the t-shirt design. So if you want to, please go and order it at teespring.com/John's Arcade. I did set a goal of 59 t-shirts, and we've already sold 56, which is awesome. So you guys rule. You guys like seriously rule. I mean, it's only been like a day. This is the first time we're talking about it in a video, and we've already pretty much reached the goal. So thanks, guys. And the campaign will continue for 24 days. So if we sell 100 t-shirts, 200, whatever it is, at 24 days, it's gonna stop. And then they're gonna make the shirts and send them to all you guys. Yes, I'm not gonna send them, okay? I don't need to send the shirts. And these, by the way, these are high quality shirts, okay? They're silk screen printed. No digital printing garbage. Silk screen printing. So teespring.com/John's Arcade. All right, guys, in this episode, we are gonna get back to the 720. Yes, it's true. This is going to be a tech video. We're going to work on that monitor, and my God, we better fix it in this episode, and then we're going to come back to the table and do some viewer mail. All right, guys, let's get on with the show. Hey, guys, we are in the basement, and today we're going to do a John's Arcade tech video. That's right, we're gonna actually fix stuff. Remember we used to do that? It's been a while since we worked on some stuff, and today in this video, we're gonna be doing part number 4. That's right, the long-awaited part number 4 of the 720 restoration. Yes, that's right, guys. No, we're not going anywhere. We're not going on the road. We're not playing games. By the way, you guys, that last video, that Nintendo World Store video, that was a little polarizing. Most of you liked it, though. I didn't think it was a stretch to go to the Nintendo store. Do you? Come on, it's all related. All of this is related. You know, I'm not going to turn into a guy playing Call of Duty, but I thought it'd be fun to do the Nintendo store. But anyway, in this video, we're going to get back to work on the 720. It's going to be part number 4. Now, in the previous videos, we did all the cosmetic stuff. We did paint. We did the overlay, what else? We fixed the starter, the light bulb, all that stuff. We rebuilt the joystick to a degree. I still need to replace all the parts in it. And then we broke the monitor. Okay, and let's go over there. Let's kind of review what's going on here. So, in the previous videos, we did all the cosmetic stuff. You know, we rebuilt the joystick. We did the overlay on the top there. And then I broke the monitor. And it's possible, I don't know. It's really possible that I might have misdiagnosed the issue here. Because the monitor went like all blue on me, okay? And I thought it was the tube, okay? And I used my Sencor tube analyzer, and it was showing that the guns were messed up. And so I rejuved it, and I did it a couple times on the very low settings. Like the lowest settings you could do. I didn't go hog wild on it. And I killed the tube, okay? And I'm like, oh, this stinks. And then I had my party, and Matt Osborne, my friend Matt Osborne, brought over an old TV set, and we put that tube in here. I showed that in the video, in the previous video. We did a tube swap. We did it really quick. We also swapped the yoke, and we ended up with this, okay? And it's kind of a black and white picture with some issues, some little blotches. See these color blotches? That's a purity issue. And I don't know if you noticed this, the picture is not centered. I mean, it's not square. it's actually at an angle, okay? Now the convergence looks okay, but we've got some issues here. We got a crooked picture, we've got some purity issues with these blotchiness, and the picture is black and white. Now, I think, and I'm not positive, it's possible that when the monitor went blue on me, it was really blue though. It might have been almost the same problem that we have right now, and I misdiagnosed it. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you research this, and by the way, this is a 25-inch medium resolution K7500 monitor in here. It's made by Wells Gardner. And if you were to research this issue here with the black and white, because we're gonna attack each issue here one at a time, okay? So the black and white issue is fairly common with these monitors, okay? There's a resistor, R811, that goes bad, that controls the contrast circuit. And this looks like that, okay? And we haven't looked at anything yet, but I'm going into this with a kind of some research and kind of have an educated direction here that we're gonna do for this monitor, because I really did read up on this, and I always do this. Whenever I'm about to work on something, I read up on it big time. I also am prepared, and I have the parts I think I'm gonna need. And sometimes I don't use all the parts and they just go in my drawer. That's okay. But so I ordered R811 on eBay. It's a 75K ohm resistor, like half watt. I ordered a complete cap kit from Bob Roberts just so I have it. I ordered all of the neck transistors, the color transistors, just so I have them. And if we don't end up using them in this project, I'm okay with that. We'll just put them in the drawer, and then I have them for down the road. But right now, I want to focus on this contrast issue and see if we can get our colors back. And if we do, well, then we're kind of home free. Only thing left then is the purity and adjusting the yoke so the image is square. So I'm pretty hopeful, and I feel pretty positive about this, that we're going to fix this today in this video. I don't know. There could be another video after this. I have no idea, but I'm optimistic that we're going to get this. At least the colors. The purity has me a little worried. We're going to have to probably pull the monitor out too. But right now, we're not going to pull the monitor out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just pull the chassis out, and we're going to do it from the back, this little portal, which is kind of super annoying, but and this game is in such a spot here, so I got to try to figure out a way to get the camera in here. But so let me turn the game off, and this should always be your first step when getting ready to pull the monitor out or to work on the monitor. And we're going to discharge the monitor from the back here. I'm not going to pull the monitor out. We're just going to discharge it right from the back from this little hole. And so I'm going to use my discharging tool. Now, these newer monitors, I think, are self-discharging, but I'm not going to take the risk because this monitor could be completely discharged right now, and I think it is, but because the later model monitors all have like a self-discharge circuit, but I'm still not going to take the chance. So I have my screwdriver here, my trusty giant screwdriver with a wire on it and an alligator clip on the other end, and I've certainly shown how to discharge monitors many times in these videos, but we'll show it again. I think I even have like videos dedicated to discharging monitors. So let's take a peek in here and let's see what's going on. So it says here, replaced with K7500 chassis only. The fuses are all good. You know, the thing's working. It's just the picture's a little messed up. And so let's see. Okay, so we had to get up in there. If you guys can see that suction cup right there, that's what we're aiming for. And so I want to clip my alligator clip on the frame. And it is, it's kind of tight in here, so I'm going to come in here with my alligator clip, and I'm going to clip it on the frame back here, okay, and just make sure it's on the metal, and make sure it stays there while you're doing this. And I'm going to come in now, very carefully, and put this underneath. Let's see if we can show it from this side. God, this is really tough to show you guys. And you want to put one hand in your pocket when you're doing this. So I'm coming up in here, and so I just discharged it and nothing really happened. Usually it will make a noise. So I'm going to go ahead here and just I gotta put the camera, turn the camera off because okay, it's off. So there you go. That's it. What a stupid spot that is. You know, this game really is a stupid design with this little tiny portal. I mean, that's how you're supposed to work on the monitor, that little hole. So, all right, so we got it discharged. So I'm gonna go ahead now and disconnect everything. And I'm literally gonna go in there and just remove every single little connector. And then we're gonna get our little nut driver, and we've got 2 nuts here that looks like they're holding the chassis in. And so let's go ahead and we're gonna remove the neck, which is right here, the neck board. So we have to carefully do that. Let me lower this a little bit. So yeah, I guess I've been kind of putting this off. A lot of you guys have noticed that. John, I think you're procrastinating. I'm not positive about that, but I think you might be putting this off. And maybe I was looking for every excuse not to do this, but I kind of was. I think I was dreading doing this, and I don't know why. All right, so let's come in here and let's get this neck board off. And I've already done some work here on the transistors because I thought I had a bad color transistor, which obviously is not the case. So let's remove the neck board. We're just going to kind of wobble it carefully off of the neck. And keep in mind that neck is glass, and it's a vacuum tube, so if you crack it, you lose the vacuum, okay, and then the tube is just dead forever. It's shot, it's garbage. Okay, so here's our little suction cup we removed. And then we have all these little connectors everywhere, so I'm gonna go ahead and just disconnect them all. Usually I don't pay too much attention to this because there's usually only one way this can go back on. But if you're worried, take photos. So we got our power connector there, our video connector there. Here's our power. This is, looks like our degauss circuit right here. Okay, now we've got this, that connects to the neck board. So this one here goes to the controls that are up front. So let me just pull this one off. Hopefully, there we go. Okay, so that's for the little remote board. There's like a little remote board in the front of the cabinet that has some controls. So, what else we have here? Okay, so this, I do want to document these wires for the yoke, because it's yellow, green, and then red and blue, because I could put these on the wrong way, and I don't want to do that. So let me get my camera. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with my phone and just take some photos of these yoke wires. Oh, by the way, I got a new phone. I picked up a Note 4. It's actually a pretty good deal at Best Buy. It actually cost me nothing. Zero. Zilch. Because they had a special going. You got a $100 gift card if you got a new phone, and then I basically changed my plan. So my plan costs less money per month, but then you pay a little extra for the phone over like 2 years, and it ended up with the bill being the same as I've been paying forever, and I got a new phone. So the net to me was the same price for my monthly bill, and I like it. Note 4 is pretty great. And it's not cracked. My old one was cracked. All right, so let's get this off. Okay. All right, so everything is disconnected. We're ready to pull this chassis off. And I'm just oh, there is back here, if you guys can see that. Do you see this? There's a little transistor back here. We're gonna have to disconnect the Molex going to that right there. Do you see that? And you gotta pay attention to how that goes on, because that thing will make your life hell if you do it wrong. So I'm gonna take another photo of that thing back there. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna get a nut driver. Okay, so I got my nut driver here, and there's like 2 nuts holding this on. So let's go ahead. There's one. And just make sure you don't lose those. And then there's one right here. And yeah, I got a new screwdriver. That one I've been using forever. The battery was just hosed. And I thought about replacing the battery. And I was at Home Depot and they had this Rivy guy. What I like about this one, though, is that it has a light. And I've always wanted one with a light. So it's basically the same kind of form factor. I think it's got a little more power to it. It's a little bit bigger, but we'll see. I can't live without those cordless screwdrivers. I don't know what it is. I just, it's, like, I freak out when I don't have it. Like, I can't do anything. All right, so we need to disconnect this transistor right there. Okay. All right, so let me pull this out, and we'll bring it to the bench. And, oh, we got one more connector here that's on the neck board. I think that's a ground wire. All right, so let's pull this out, and it's completely free. And let's bring it to the bench and see what's going on. Okay, guys, we have the PCB on the bench here, and we're basically looking for a resistor 811. Again, this is the resistor that is notoriously bad on these K7500s. It controls that contrast circuit. So we are making an educated guess here that that's our problem. Okay, so resistor 811 is right here, okay? It's right there. It's actually tough to find. You got to really hunt for it. But it is labeled on the board. The marking's actually under the resistor. And I looked at the manual too, and just to kind of see where in general it was. And it's right here, okay? Now, resistors, they have bands on them, okay? And when I was in high school, I used to know how to read this stuff because we had to. Because I took high school electronics, you know, like a year or two. It was fun, actually. But anyway, so you'd have to know how to read these bands, okay? And they have colored bands. And so I bought a bunch of these. It's a 75K ohm resistor, half watt, 5%. 5% is the tolerance, okay? So this resistor can be plus or minus 5% of the published value, okay? So this is a 75,000 ohm resistor, half watt, 5%. And the colored bands on here basically translate to that. And it's purple, green, orange, and gold. Purple, green, orange, and gold. The gold is the tolerance, by the way, so that's the 5%. And then the purple, green, and orange equal to 75K. I don't really know how it works exactly. These days, if I'm unsure of what a resistor's value is, I'll go online and just type in resistor calculator. And you can go on there and just put in the colors, and it'll tell you the value. So if you're replacing a part and you're not sure if it's right or wrong, now, so 75K is orange, green, purple, or the other way around. It's actually purple, green, orange. So let's just double check the R811. And yeah, same deal. It's purple, green, orange, and then gold. Purple, green, orange, and gold. And what we bought on eBay is also purple, green, orange, and gold. So if we are replacing the part, we'll be using the same exact model. And what's in there was correct according to the manual. So to test this resistor, we could try testing it in circuit. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not really a reliable way to test something, if it's good or bad. You know, we could put our multimeter on ohms and just see what happens if we read it, but it's really not going to be an accurate reading because it's kind of measuring the resistance of the whole circuit instead of just the part. And what you really should do, see right now it says 9.4 m ohms. So it's supposed to be 75K. So I think what we should do is let's desolder one of the legs and lift the thing out of the circuit, because that really is the correct way to test a resistor to find out if it's good or bad. So I'm going to come in here with my soldering iron, and let's see if we can desolder one of these legs. I mean, I'm tempted just to yank it off and not even go through this testing, but we probably should just do it right. So I'm trying to figure out where it goes on the other side here. This is the tricky part too. I mean, there's so many parts on this thing. So I think it goes here to here and here. So I think that's one of the legs is right here. Pretty sure. Or is it that one? So I'm trying to figure out like where it goes on the other side. So because it's not labeled on the other side. Is it this one? This kind? And it should be... I try to like put my fingers together, one on one side, one on the other side, and see if I can magically kind of touch them together. But I think it's this one right here. So let's go ahead and desolder this. So I'm just going to take... I think it's that one. I wonder if I should just heat it up from the top and pull Why don't we try that? Yeah, I'm going to heat this up from the top. And I'm going to try to pull one of the legs off. And if I break it, I don't really care. There we go. That worked. So I just basically put heat on the leg and then pulled it off, pulled it up from the top. All right, so now we can test this guy. We've got one leg out of the circuit and one in. All right, so let's take our multimeter now and let's see what's going on with R811. And I've read too, though, if it's not in spec, you know, if it's like 50 or 60 or even 70K, they think it'd still be bad. All right. I think we have a dead short here. I'm not getting anything. It just says OL. Yeah, this thing's completely hosed. Nothing. It's open. So yeah, this resistor's completely bad. Look at that. I can't even get any kind of reading. It just says OL, which is open. Infinity. Yeah. Alright, so that resistor is bad. So it should read like this. Here's a good one, just so you guys can see the comparison. So it should read like this, 75.5K ohms. So that's not quite exactly 75, but it's, you know, within the 5% tolerance. So, all right, so let's replace that guy. And so let me come in here now. I need to figure out where the hell this goes, though.
On your mark.
So it's the end of this big header here. It's actually really tough to figure out where the hell this thing goes. So at the end of this pin, end of this header, and then in one. So right here. That's it right there. And this. Okay, so let me come in here and desolder this. So it should be this right here. Yep. I'm gonna throw some new solder on here. Should be going to here. Okay. Make sure you guys can see what's going on here. Okay. So let's see if we can get that off of here. Where did it go? Resistor 811. Right here. Okay, so we got it off. And we'll just double check it since we got it out of the circuit here. Completely out. But we should be getting basically the same reading we were getting before. Yeah, completely open. So yeah, it's completely hosed. All right, so let's replace it. Let's get our new one right here. And again, I'll just go ahead and just double check the value of it. 75K we're looking for. 75.5. Okay, good. So we'll use this one. And with resistors, it doesn't matter how you put them in. There's no like polarity. There's no right or wrong way. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of thread it in there and then just solder it down. did it go? Right here. Okay. Got one leg in. Let's go ahead and put the second leg in. So I'm very curious to see what the picture looks like after we do this. Okay. So these resistors are so cheap. I mean, I bought like this bag of like 20 of them for like $2 shipped on eBay. Now, who knows? Maybe there's some weird Chinese surplus or something, but just so cheap. I buy parts on eBay all the time. You know, if I want just some very specific resistor or capacitor, and I just need like one or two, I'll just go on eBay and just order like, you know, a bag of 15 of them. You know, and like I said, they're always like really cheap. So I've had good luck doing that. Maybe the parts aren't as good quality, I don't know, but something like a resistor, if it goes bad, I mean, I got like 20 more of them. All right, I'm not positive, but it looks like I might have lifted a trace here. So this goes over to here. Let me put this on continuity. All right, that's good. Just kind of double checking my work, make sure this is truly on there. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and just trim the leads. And I just want to trim above the solder. Okay, so we're all done. So I think we're all set. Now, I already did work on these transistors right here. These are the color transistors. There's 3 of them, R, G, and B. Red, green, and blue on the neck board. These are notorious for going bad. This is what I originally thought my problem was. I thought it was those. And so I've already came in here and reflowed the solder, and I fixed some of the, I put like jumper wires in there because I thought some of the traces were bad. And this did not change my situation at all. I actually switched some of the transistors around. So I'm fairly confident these are all good. I did buy new ones. We might have to revisit this. I don't know if my work here is 100%. We'll know now because hopefully that contrast resistor we just put in, you know, is going to now really show us what's going on with the colors. So, all right, I'm going to bring everything over to the game. Let me put the monitor, let me put this chassis back in the game, and let's see what's going on. Okay guys, I put everything back together exactly as I took it apart. I did consult my phone. I looked at the pictures I took. You know, these wires here, I put on backwards. I looked at my phone, and sure enough, I had this in backwards. So definitely take photos. It really helps. On the K7500, do not forget that little transistor back there. Okay, don't forget that, guys. See it? Right there. Don't forget that. And so I didn't. It's connected right there. And, you know, 720 is kind of a pain in the butt to work on. I had to really get my hand in there. Now, before I put the anode cup on that's coming from the flyback on the tube up there, I did discharge the monitor again just because I was going to put my hand right there. And I always do that, you know. Even though we discharged the monitor initially, And again, this monitor I'm pretty positive is a self-discharging monitor. But even still, I'm just playing it safe because I have been shocked. I've been bit by these monitors, and it's really not a good feeling, let me tell you. So I always discharge them regardless. And the method I showed you guys with the screwdriver is a safe method for the raster monitors. Don't do that for vector. You should use an HV probe, which I have. But for the raster monitors, you know, your 4900s, your G07s, your 20 EZs, you can just use a screwdriver. I've done it a lot, and I've never had any issues doing it that way. On the vectors, if you use an HV probe, it has basically a resistor built in line, and it's a gradual voltage drop instead of an initial just short is essentially what you're doing. Because the tube's like a big capacitor. It's just full of energy, and when you discharge it, you're basically shorting it to ground, and so everything comes out of it. But anyway, all right, so we have it all together here, and we're ready to turn it on and see what happens. And I'm fairly confident I put everything back together exactly where I found it. I'm just making sure there's no loose wires hanging out anywhere, and I don't see anything. Everything's plugged in. So let's go ahead now and turn the game on. And let's cross our fingers. I'm going to keep my eyes away from the monitor in case it blows up. Not likely. All right, so the game booted. Let's go in the front here and see what's going on. And I hope that we see some colors, because that would suck if we don't. All right, so good. We have fixed the color. So now, man, we got some massive purity issues. What is going on? Oh my God. So, man, I almost wonder if I need to cap this monitor. What is going on here? It's like a whole new problem. What is happening? What is this? What is going on? Oh my God. Is that the flyback? What is doing that? It's almost like it's out of adjustment. It's blurry. Boy, this monitor is a basket case, man. Hi. All right, let me, I'm gonna get a mirror. I'm gonna play with some of the adjustments on the back. Just see if we can get this thing in focus. I think the colors are just amped. I think that's what it is. Because I had all the colors out of whack trying to fix it before. I bet you the colors are just really out of whack. I'm gonna get a mirror and I'll be right back. Okay guys, actually the issue that I had was just an adjustment issue, and I turned the flyback down and just kind of dialed the colors down. Now on the flyback there's a screen knob, that's like the brightness. I turned that down a little bit. On the little remote adjustment board, I also adjusted the contrast and the brightness, which is on this board in here. And I just basically adjusted all that stuff till the picture wasn't freaking out. So this is the little remote adjustment board right down in here. And if you look at it, it's got, that's the width. This is like brightness. This is contrast. So I just dialed everything down until the picture wasn't freaking out. It was like blooming. And so we fixed it. I mean, the chassis is good. Now the issue we have is the tube, because the tube is whacked. I mean, it's way out of adjustment. It's crooked. We got massive purity issues. And the only way I'm going to be able to fix this stuff is we got to pull the monitor out. There's just no way around it. I got to get the monitor out of the game, and we're going to have to just figure out a way to work with it in the back. I'm going to have to put it on a chair or on the floor, and we're going to have to make all of our final adjustments now with the monitor out, and this is not going to be fun. It really isn't. And this is the part that I've been dreading, what we're about to do right now, because we got to fix the purity. And while the monitor's out too, it'll be a lot easier to adjust the colors, because the color pots are on the neck board, and they're in a really tough spot. You gotta get your hand all the way up and then over, and it's a little risky. But the chassis itself is good. The issue we have right now is a tube issue. So, all right, let's get this stuff out of here. And God, this is gonna suck. This is a big, heavy monitor. So I got these screws in here just kind of hand tight, and you can see the cardboard bezel's a little messed up right now. But let me get these screws off, and we're gonna have to remove this glass. Oh, this is gonna suck. I will say this though, this is the first kind of tech video I've done with the wireless microphone. Pretty badass. Not even thinking about that wire. I can go anywhere I want. And there you go. So you can kind of see how that picture is just crooked. And we can adjust that by rotating the yoke. And the purity though, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. And we'll get through it though. We have no choice. So, okay, I have to figure out here how to disconnect this. So I have to disconnect the remote board. So I'm going to go in the back, because the remote board right now comes from the chassis into the bottom here. So I have to disconnect that completely. And the wire is actually going to get in our way. And then we're just going to kind of just manhandle this thing and pull it out. And I gotta be super careful that I don't kill myself doing this. All right, let me go disconnect the remote board from the chassis in the back. Okay, I have everything disconnected here, and there was actually a lot to disconnect. I had to disconnect the sound because that cord is in the way from pulling the monitor out. In the back here, I'll kind of show you what I did, just so you guys know. I mean, this kind of really just pertains to 720 because they've got all these wires that are going through that hole and then up into the monitor area, and they're just in the way if we want to pull the monitor out. So I had to disconnect the sound from the sound amp right here. And then in the back here, you can see I've got, this here is for, what was this? This is for the speakers, okay? And that's what plugs into the sound amp down there. So that's kind of just hanging back here. I also disconnected the power and then took those wires and just pulled them down through this hole in here. Otherwise, those would all be in the way as we're pulling the monitor out. And I also disconnected the remote board, and we've got that right here. So everything's disconnected. We got everything out of the way and pulled through the hole. So now we can just pull the monitor out. Now, I already had removed the screws holding the monitor in. We actually did that at my party. So the monitor was like screwed in right here. So it's all disconnected. So I should be able to safely pull the monitor out now without anything being kind of, snagged up. But this is going to be really stressful. So I have to just kind of do this very carefully. And we're going to put the monitor on. I just pulled out like a plastic box because I need to have it close to the game because I don't have an isolation transformer set up. So we're going to have to plug it into the game and then work on it in the back. So I just have to carefully do this and just pray to God that I don't drop it. I mean, I've removed these 25-inch monitors before. They're just not fun. It really, if you have two people, that is ideal, but I don't. So we're just gonna have to just kind of manhandle this and just pray to the arcade gods that John does not drop this. All right, here we go. There's no turning back now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the crate over here. And this thing is freaking heavy. All right, does that feel safe? It doesn't. I think I'm gonna get a second crate. I wanna kind of have it off the ground. All right, let me get a second crate here. But I got the monitor out, it's on the floor. You can see why I've been putting this off. This is freaking miserable. So I removed the red tent, and then let me grab a second crate, and we'll just kind of make a little, just something so it's elevated. I don't trust putting that on a chair, so let me get another crate. Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good viewing angle, but we'll try to figure this out. I'm going to tell you something too. Before I do this, I am taking my jewelry off, and I know you guys have always yelled at me about this, but I feel the need to do this because I'm going to be all over this monitor when it's on, and I really don't want to get shocked. We're gonna be touching the monitor more than usual, and I'm gonna take your advice and get rid of this stuff, so you guys won't see any of my accessories during this video, during this portion of the video. All right, so I printed out color purity adjustment instructions, okay? And I got this online. It's on Arcade Controls. And let's just kind of go over the basics here, what we're going to be doing. It says, screen color purity is normally the first CRT setup adjustment to be made, but it doesn't normally drift over time, okay? And therefore doesn't require routine adjustment. So the only reason we need to do this is because we swapped the yoke, okay? This is the yoke right here. This came off the old monitor tube, okay? So this tube is from a television set, okay? And the number matches what goes with that. There's charts online that have like cross-reference numbers. So this tube is compatible with the K7500, but the yoke that was on it for the television set did not match, okay? Because the dot pitch or whatever, because this is medium res. So we had to pull the yoke off of my old tube and put it on this television tube, and that's why the purity's all messed up right now. So now we need to fix it, okay? And it says normally you wouldn't have to do this. So this is the kind of stuff you need to do when you do tube swaps, okay? Purity is said to be good if when each color is turned on and the other turned off, the entire screen is all one color, okay? Bad purity will show up as wrong colors on what should be a pure color field. So we had those blotches, okay? It's showing colors when it shouldn't be, okay? If you can get a good white screen, then you don't need to feel with purity. Leave it alone, okay? We could not get a good white screen. Our white screen had blotches of pink and everything. God, my hands look so naked. I don't like this at all. This is weird. Okay, so there are internal controls for each CRT gun to set the brightness level for that color. Okay, so to adjust the green screen purity, the center gun is the most common one to view during purity adjustment. So it wants us to make the screen green, okay? It wants us to turn down the red and the blue and then crank the green to get a solid green screen, and then we're going to adjust the purity so we get that solid green, okay? An alternative way to do this is to have some kind of a generator, a program, a thing, a device that would make our green screen, okay? And I actually have such a device, and we might use it. We'll see. This is the TPG from Crafty Mech. This is a standalone test unit, okay? It's got pattern generators. It can do a red screen, a blue screen, you know, all the colors. So Crafty Mech gave this to me at Grinkfest, and he thought I would really, you know, get a lot of use out of it. So I think we're gonna try it right now. I've never tried it. And then he actually had Buffett send me a cable for it too, so we can hook up this device to our monitor, and then basically we can test the monitor without using the game PCB, and we could put cross-hatch patterns and all that. Now this has a switch here for standard and medium res, so I have it on medium res. Now I've never tried this, so we'll see what happens. If this works, that'd be great. If not, we can use the game PCB. So it says here, basically, we need to get the screen to be green first, okay? So let's do that, okay? Let's just do that, and then we'll read the rest of the purity instructions. Now, full disclosure here, I've never had to do this before, so we are learning this together, and my God, if I can figure this out, I think you guys can too. So let me squeeze in here, and hopefully I can find a decent camera angle here. All right, is that good? I can't really tell. Looks like crap to me. All right, so, okay, so I need to hook up the power to this, okay, and I'm going to use the power from the cabinet, right? And so let me find the power plug here. So that's that. So the monitor will now get juice once I plug this in, okay? And what else do we need to plug in here? Didn't really unplug anything else, right? We just need the video signal. Oh, I need the remote board. So here's the remote board. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in. Like so. Okay, so we got the remote board plugged in, so we can make our adjustments right here on this. So I guess we'll try this TPG out. And we want to get it to a green screen. Actually, let me come in here and center all these pots. So on the neck board here are all the color controls. And I just want to center every color right now, because we're going to make our green with the generator and not with these pots. So I'm just going to center all these the best I can. So what is center? If they're all horizontal, I think.
Get set.
Alright. Yeah. I think center is if they're all vertical. Alright, let me just center all these pots. Okay, so all the color pots, the RGB, there's like drive and bias. So they're all centered. So let's go ahead and try this. Do you guys want to use this thing? Is that weird that we're using this because you guys don't have this thing? But let's give this a shot. And I'm going to plug this in with the RGB and the ground on this header right here. Okay? And then the sync ones are going to be in these two here, because that's how it is on the game. And which way do these go on? Like this? Is that upside down?
On your mark.
Yeah. So I got that thing loaded up. So let's plug this into our game. Into the monitor. And I'm going to plug it in the same way I did on the device. And again, you can get this green screen by just cranking the green drive and turning all the other colors down. All right, so let's turn this on. Okay, so that's on. All right, I'm just kind of looking over here, making sure I can turn this on safely. And I think I can. All right, so the monitor's on. So let's kind of take a look on the front here, see what's happening. So we have a sync issue here. I'm going through the test, but it's not sunk. So let's think about that. I'm going to reverse the sync wires. Turn this thing off. Still have a sync issue.
On your mark. Get set.
So I have to admit, I don't really know how to get this to sync. I should read the manual real quick. Let me read. Well, there's a sync here. Let's try this. Let's try some of the dip switch settings. He's got some dip switch settings here. Let me just select some of them. This one is, that's invert. We don't want to do that. Let's see how that does. No, we're still not synced. Do I keep messing with this thing, or do we just do it the old school way? Hang on, let me go read up on something. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give up on that thing. And Crafty Mac, I'm sorry, bro, but maybe you can tell me what I was doing wrong, because I couldn't get it to sync. So we're just gonna use the game board, and I'll adjust the green drive all the way up. All right, so let's review again. So we need to get a green screen, and I'm gonna do that by adjusting the pots. And so I'm gonna go ahead and go behind here, and I'm gonna crank the green and crank down the red and the blue to get our green screen. So this is green. This is green drive right here. Let's turn that all the way up. Let me turn down the red. Okay, this is red bias. Let's see how we're looking here. There's green. And this is blue. So is our screen... Our screen is completely green. Okay. Alright, so that's step one. Make your screen completely green. Your screen completely green. Okay. Alright, so let's read this. To adjust purity, set up a green screen as indicated above. Loosen the yoke clamp and pull the yoke back towards the convergence assembly as far as it will go. If there's any glue or tape holding it, it may be necessary to gently twist the yoke to break it loose from the tube. A wide vertical bar of solid green should appear in the center of the screen. If it's off center, the purity rings should be rotated and or separated to center the green bar. Then slide the yoke forward enough to get an overall green screen without contamination by red or blue. Use a bar or crosshatch pattern to make sure the yoke is straight. Rotational misalignment will cause the picture to be tilted. And then gently tighten the yoke clamp. It's a good idea to check the red screen purity, then the blue. Slight adjustments of the ring or yoke position may be required to optimize the purity. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn it off actually, and I'm going to loosen the yoke. Okay, I have the monitor off right now, and I'm going to come in here and loosen the screw that holds the yoke in place. And I'll show you where that is real quick. It's right... And I'm just doing this with the monitor off just to be safe, but it's right here. And I'm just going to loosen that so that we can move the yoke easily. And then we're going to be adjusting the purity rings, which are these two guys right here. Okay, you see this? These two are the purity rings. These ones are for convergence. We're not going to touch those because we don't have a convergence issue. Convergence is when the guns line up. And sometimes it'll make stuff look blurry. Like you'll see blue lines and then like to the right of it will be like red, like kind of squeaking out. We're only going to be messing with the convergence rings right here, okay? And moving the yoke forward and backwards, okay? And I read some more stuff in between recording here. I was reading on the Wells Gardner manual, because the manual for this talks about how to converge. How to do the purity, and it basically said the one thing that kind of stuck out for me was it said to leave the monitor on for 15 minutes before doing this, and I actually have. The monitor was on, so I'm going to turn it on again. And the yoke right now is loose, okay? So we can move the yoke back. And according to those instructions on arcade controls, we're supposed to get like a green bar in the center. And then we use the rings to adjust it. Now I'll show you guys, if I move those purity rings right now, we can make the blotches move around. See this? See that? Okay? But it doesn't seem to be enough to get rid of it. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But let's follow the instructions that they have on this sheet here. So it says here, set up the green, loosen the yoke, pull the yoke back towards the convergence assembly as far as it go. And then a wide vertical bar of solid green should appear in the center, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pull the yoke back, and hopefully you guys can see what's going on here with this viewing angle. I think this is about the best as I'm gonna be able to do here. And I gotta be careful of the flyback here. I don't like how that wire is kind of in the way at all, actually. Boy, that really scares me, actually, because if that thing falls out, I'm screwed, man. I will get shocked beyond belief. I'm going to actually turn the monitor off real quick and just kind of see if I can get that out of the way. Or if I come back here, I don't really feel like dying today. Let's see if we can just kind of... Yeah, I guess it's not really in the way. Just when you're working on these monitors, this right here is what's going to kill you, okay? If anything's going to kill you, it's going to be that. Don't touch that when the monitor's on. Don't bump it. Don't pull on it. Stay away from that. That's where the high voltage is. And so when I'm working on this, I got to be aware of that, okay? I'm not trying to scare you. Actually, I am trying to scare you. All right, so the monitor's on. And like I said, I had the monitor on for 15 minutes already, so it's warmed up, okay? the power cycling is not really it's not losing its warm-up condition or status. All right, so all right, so let's come in here. We're gonna move the yoke. I'm putting my hand on the metal part of it, and I'm just pulling it back as far as it goes. And actually, it's clearing up everything here. Let's see. Wow, that actually is pretty good right there. Wow, we kind of cleaned it up. We just cleaned it up here. Wow. Did I just fix it?
On your mark.
Should I clamp that down? Huh, I think I just fixed it, guys. So, the blotches are gone. Look at that. I wonder if I just clamp... Now, I have these little wedges in here. I wonder if I can use those. Yeah. I'm going to use these little wedges to kind of wedge it in place. Right there. And let's take a look there. Wow, we kind of fixed it. And all we do is we just move the yoke back a little bit. Boy, that looks pretty good. That's a nice solid green there. And we're just going to use the rings now. My God, was it that easy? Let's see what it looks like now with the game image. So I'm going to go ahead now and turn on the other colors. Huh. I think we just successfully did the purity on this.
On your mark.
Look at that.
Get set.
John, you did it. Wow, guys. We did it. We're done. Let's see. The picture's a little crooked. I could see that. We could fix that by rotating this. Okay. We come in here. Let's rotate the yoke. Make the picture centered. I can see a little red's coming in here. Let's see if we can get rid of that with the purity. And there it goes. Ah, thank the Lord. So let's, wow, I'm pretty damn excited. That wasn't that bad. I'll show you guys. So all I really did was I just moved the yoke back a little bit. I have to adjust the color still. But that's really all we did. We moved the yoke back, and it's all it took to get rid of those blotches. And I kind of put those wedges in there. Now the convergence in the corners here, that looks a little off. We might be able to tweak that. Let me put the game in test. I think there might be a crosshatch if we put the game in test. Where's the test switch? Where's that test switch? Is that it? Okay, so the game's says press the kick button to continue. So let me plug in the control panel, and let's see if we can get a crosshatch with the game board. I think we can. All right, so let me push kick here. So what's it doing right now? 6502. So it's going to go through all these tests. So I'm going to let it go through all the tests, and then I think it ends with a crosshatch pattern. So let me coin switch, press kick button to continue. All right.
On your mark.
That's the controller test. Motion object test.
Get set.
Alpha test. Playfield test. There we go. Color test. Let's see if we get a crosshatch. Red. There we go. What's that? That might help us out. So I'm not sure if this is just a straight up crosshatch. I think it is. So right now I'm doing the convergence. So I think these are supposed to be all white squares. That looks pretty damn good, actually. That doesn't look... this corner here is messed up. So I'm just playing with these rings.
On your mark. Get set.
The corners are always really hard to converge. And so when I say converge, you basically have these guns. There's like 3 guns, okay? And so to make white, you need red, green, and blue, okay? And they all kind of stack up on top of each other. You know, red, and then green, and then blue. And if the green convergence is off, it'll be like to the side, and you'll see green poking out from behind the white, okay? So right now, I'm just kind of looking in the center here, and I'm just trying to get it so it's just pure white, and I don't see any of the other colors, okay? I can see right here, blue's poking out a little bit. And I'm moving these convergent rings. And I know there's a more scientific way to do this, but I usually just do this with trial and error. And so there, and the red's poking out. Oh, I kind of think that's pretty close.
On your mark. Get set.
So that... Alright, so I'm going to keep playing with this, and honestly, it's just trial and error. And I'm going to try to get this convergence dead nuts on. That's pretty good. This top left, though, is blurry. And I might be able to fix that with the focus. I'm just curious if I can adjust the focus to improve some of that. This should be the focus right here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So, all right, I'm gonna keep adjusting this. You know, I might spend the next half hour on this, to be honest. But I'm gonna go to town on this. It's looking actually really good, though. I gotta say. What do you guys think? But look in the left corner here. I don't know if you guys can tell. See that? It's a little blurry, and then the center is converged very nice, but that top left corner is not. So I'm gonna keep playing with this, and I'm just moving those rings and trial and error. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. Well, let me tell you something. I've been working on this monitor. I've been adjusting this monitor for about, an hour and a half, at least, maybe 2 hours. And it actually looks really good. I got it dialed in like fantastic, okay? It's not 1,000% like dead nuts on convergence, but it's really close. The colors are decent. I feel really, really good about it. What really happened here was I was messing with it, and I just couldn't get it to line up, the convergence. And then eventually I'm like looking at the yoke, and it just wasn't like flush to the tube. It was just kind of like at a weird angle like this. Like the bottom was just so far off compared to the top. And so I really got in there and just kind of squared it off, made it even how it's approaching it. And I squeezed in these little wedges here to kind of just level the whole thing off. And then once I did that, once I found the spot where it needed to be, because basically the closer I got, the more of that purity issue I had, and if I backed off a little bit, it would clear up and I'd get the solid color. So I found that sweet spot. I tightened down the yoke. I got the wedges in there. See, all these monitors have like little wedges, like that right there's a wedge, okay? And that's from the factory when they were finding the right spot for the yoke. And then once I did that, it pretty much converged itself. I didn't really have to do much at all with the convergence. It was just really finding that perfect spot for the yoke. Now, what I'm gonna do now though is I'm gonna take some hot glue, and I've already tightened down the yoke, which is that screw right there. But I'm gonna take some hot glue and just run it over this, so this can't move, okay? Because I don't want this to change, because that's in a great spot right now. And I'm just gonna put a crap load of glue on here and just kind of glue it to the neck and everything, like so. And we'll just let that dry, and then that should kind of hold everything in place. The colors are pretty good. I basically just trial and error, man. Adjusting these pots, I put it on the test screen for color, and I just adjusted it till it looked good, and this looks great. We did it, guys. We did it again. So let's put the game back together, because we're done here. And I'm so relieved, I have to tell you. I am like super, super relieved. 720's back up. See, it wasn't that hard, John. It's just a pain in the ass. It really was a pain in the butt. I mean, this is a giant monitor. It's a stupid cabinet. You can't get to the monitor unless you pull it out. It was a big hassle, but we got it over with. It's done. Yay. So, all right, so I'm going to put the monitor back in there. I'm going to put everything back together. Let's just put the whole thing back together the way we took it apart, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, everything's cleaned up and put back where it belongs, and the game is all buttoned up, and look at this. Come on! Oh, it's so nice having every game working again. Those were a depressing few weeks with the 720 down, so yeah, hey, we nailed it, man. We did a tube swap is kind of what happened here. You guys didn't see the actual swap itself, but all the work we did afterwards. Now, I mean, the way I did the purity and the convergence, there's probably a way more scientific way. I basically it was a lot of trial and error, you know. But truth be told, I've never done this before. I never have done the purity, okay? I understood the concept about it. I've read up about this a couple years ago. I kind of got the gist of it. But I've never had to physically put my hands on there and do it. It was the first time in this video. We did this together, and you saw, all I did was I printed out some instructions I found online and just was a little smart about where I put my hands and how I set everything up to work. So, you know, guys, don't be afraid to do this stuff. I don't think what we did in this video was so complicated. It was a little hairy, a little scary, a little daunting, but we did it, and it looks great. I mean, the picture actually looks really, really good. And let's see, want to play a little bit of a game? Of course, I have to get good at this game. I'm not. It's funny, I brought this thing down here, and it broke, like, within a week or two, right? So I never really got to play much of this. God, has this game been down that long? So I still have to rebuild the joystick. I have all those parts, and that's going to be the next 720 video. Now, I don't know when we're going to do that. Probably the next couple weeks. But this looks great. Total success. I think the red drive might be up just a little too much. Yeah, I really sneak at this game. It's obvious. I have to get good at it. Much practice is in my future. But that looks pretty great, right? You gotta admit. It really, truly does. So, all right, guys, there you go. That was, well, replacing that resistor that goes bad on these monitors, and which is R811, and then also doing the purity after a tube swap. So, I'm so relieved. I have to tell you, I know that you guys know I've been putting this video off because it's true. And this morning I'm like, well, you got to just do it. And I really had no idea if we were going to succeed today, and we did. So today we got lucky, and everything was fine. So I want to do some viewer. Actually, I was going to show you guys this too. Remember, we did the Ironclad thing. I bought that Ironclad Neo Geo cartridge. I wanted to show you what these Neo Geo shock boxes are all about, because this is a big thing. The Neo Geo guys, the really hardcore Neo Geo guys, get all into this stuff. And they call these shock boxes, and they're $8, and you can get printed artwork. Now, remember, this game, Ironclad, and by the way, if you never saw the Ironclad video, go back and watch it. This was an unreleased game that has surfaced the last couple years, and some guys figured out how to make the cartridge, and I have a video out about it. But anyway, I thought, so since it was kind of a special cartridge, it'd be kind of cool to get one of the shock boxes. I've always avoided this. I don't know, should I start doing this for all my games? Get these boxes with the inserts, and, you know, it's kind of that console collecting mentality. You know, you have them on a shelf or something. I don't know. I just thought I'd share. They're $8. There's a website. Just Google Neo Geo shock boxes. But if you're into Neo Geos, I can see how this could get a little addicting. But anyway, all right, let's move on. I want to do just a few viewer mails, and then we'll get out of here. I picked some short ones because I knew this video was going to be kind of... Actually, I don't even know how long this video is. We started recording at 2 o'clock. It's now after 6. I started recording like around 1 something today, and it's 5 hours it took me to get to this point. That's how long I worked on that monitor, guys. It was a lot of trial and error of adjusting. Okay, so if you guys want to send viewer mails, you're gonna send them to blkdog7@gmail.com. That's blkdog7@gmail.com. And in the subject line, please put viewer mail, okay? And blackdog7@gmail.com. John, this is from Dennis 423. John, great show. Have you ever considered doing a pin upgrade with LED lights on your pinball machine? They really make the games pop. Also, have you considered attending the March Papa Pinball Championship in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Keep up the good work, Dennis 423. You know, Dennis, I am really warming up to the idea of LEDs. I really am, because I have to say I was an LED snob, or rather an incandescent bulb snob from day one. Like, I'm like, oh no, it was never like that. These games never had LEDs. I'm not doing it. And, you know, the more I see them on my friends' games, the more I start liking it. And I've been thinking about maybe doing Whirlwind, which is the oldest pin down here and kind of the weirdest choice, but it's also the darkest pin, okay? And I thought, I don't know if I saw Whirlwind with LEDs. I might have. I've seen System 11 games with LEDs, and I think that, I think it would really pop. And I agree. I might do it. The problem with LEDs, though, it is so expensive. It's like $150 to put light bulbs in a game. It's so much money. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that in a video. I was kind of thinking about this. It'd be kind of fun to see how Whirlwind is transformed from that kind of dark game to a really bright, almost modern-looking pin. And that game's from like 1989, you know, or 1990. So, and then as far as March, the Papa Pinball Championship in Pittsburgh, I don't know. Maybe. I'm aware of it. It's kind of a haul for me. Maybe. We'll see. I might do that. In March, though, that's going to be tough. That's pretty soon. I don't know. I'll let you know if I can make it down there. Next one is from Charlie Brown. Hey, John, Charlie here. I just wanted to say thank you for all the great videos. I got my collection of arcade games going thanks to you. I'm up to 7 so far with a few I gotta build. Was wondering when you're going to start doing more tech vids. You need to do some more monitor fixes. I know you're probably tired of hearing it, but you've only covered a few types, and I would love to see a few more being repaired. Keep up the good work, and thanks for the link to buy t-shirts. I ordered mine to support the cause, and maybe on the next batch you could put that drawing you showed on the back, and I'll order that one too. Thanks, and keep them coming. Okay, Charlie, well, yeah, you know what? I tend to address and fix that lack of tech videos lately, and it's just, there's no explanation for it. It's just how my life has been the last few months, you know, where I'm traveling, and so that kind of is the theme of the videos, you know, and it's winter, there was Christmas and holidays and stuff like that, so I kind of slowed down on fixing things. So I have some other projects lined up, some things I want to do. You know, we did the 720 finally. I want to rebuild the Gottlieb power supply on the Mad Planets, which is the same power supply on Qbert, because the audio quality of the switching one is not good. I want to do the Robotron tie-dye ROMs. I want to make a video about that. I think we'll do that one really quick, actually. You know, there's a new ROM version out there for Robotron that Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar created in the year 2015. So they went back to Robotron and they fixed some bugs in it. I mean, how cool is that? 2015, a game that came out in '82, is getting patched in 2015. So I'm really excited to do that, to burn those ROMs and just see what's different about it. So we'll probably be doing that really quick here. The Tempest is borderline flaky. It needs a new edge connector. I don't know if that's video worthy, because it would be very similar to what we did in the Pac-Man. It'd be the same thing. You know, we did the edge connector in the Pac-Man, but if you guys want to do that again, we can. As far as monitors, I don't know, you guys say this, but I feel like I've done a lot of monitor. I did a 4900, I did a Geo 7, I did a K7500 now. We've done a 6100 complete rebuild. So if there's a very specific monitor that you want me to rebuild, well, tell me. Because I think I've covered the biggies. I haven't done Sanyo 20 EZ, which is weird, because I've probably capped more Sanyo 20 EZs than any other monitor known to man, but I never filmed it. So that's one we need to get to, and we got one in the garage that needs work in that Hogan's Alley. So, you know, if you have any very specific monitor requests, let me know. And then thanks for the t-shirt, for purchasing the t-shirt. And by the way, as of Sunday, and by the way, this is the first video where I'm talking about the t-shirts, okay? And I know I announced that at the top of the video, but today, the t-shirts have been on sale for 1 day, and I haven't talked about it yet in a video or on a podcast, and I set the goal for the t-shirts at 59. Don't ask me where I got that number. I said, yeah, we could sell 59, and well, we're at 56 right now, and I imagine, hopefully, after this video, that will be well past 59, so you guys can just keep ordering. And basically how it works is, you know, if you go to this website, again, it's Teespring, T-E-E, spring.com/JarnsArcade, and the t-shirt's there. And again, there's multiple flavors. You don't have to buy the $23 shirt. There's also a $16 one that's Hanes, and it's Journey Blue. But how this works is we set the goal at 59. I think it's safe to say we're going to hit that goal. We've got 23 days left, and at the end of 23 days, however many orders we have, if it's 200, if it's 100 shirts or 75 or 200, whatever it is, the campaign just stops. They make all the shirts and they send them out, and that's it. And then the t-shirts are high quality. They're silk screened. You could choose American Apparel or Hanes. So this looks like a really good outfit, and it's teespring.com. There's a hoodie, there's a kid's shirt, there's a woman's shirt, all that stuff. So if you guys want to support the site or support John's Arcade, go to teespring.com/John'sArcade, and it's in the show notes. All right, last email is kind of a silly one. This one's from Daniel Pompey, and it just says, well, this happened. So I get a lot of emails like this, actually. People seem to like to Photoshop my face onto things. I don't know what it is, but this is not a new thing. This has been going on for a long time. I mean, long before you guys knew who I was as John's Arcade. You know, during the VGO days. Even before VGO, I had a website called Zero Commit, which was a gaming community. And my face always got photoshopped onto things. And the trend is still alive and well. And so Daniel sent me this, he made a magazine cover called Eggs, Eggs Weekly. And it says, Gas Station Eggs Reviewed. Weekly, Eggs Weekly with John Jacobson, Gas Station Eggs Reviewed, 62 egg recipes, very funny. 101 egg stories. So, voted America's best magazine, Eggs Weekly with John Jacobson. That's pretty funny. It made me laugh. You guys are hilarious. So if you guys want to Photoshop me on stuff, go ahead. There's an entire thread in Cloth, by the way, where I'm like photoshopped in like 7,000 pictures. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. Oh, by the way, you know, Crafty Mech, you know, he gave me this thing and I couldn't figure it out, bro. I don't know. I'm sure it's great. I'm just ignorant as to how it works. So let me know what I did wrong. I couldn't get it to sync. See, there's a lot of different sync options here with these cables, but if you guys want to check this out, just Google Crafty Mech TPG. Crafty Mech TPG, and you can find this thing, and maybe I'll figure it out. You know, the thing is about this thing, though, this is really good if you have a test bench and an isolation transformer, which I don't have, you know, so I already had the monitor in a position to plug in the power, so it almost like didn't make sense to use this, because I could just plug the PCB in, because I was so close. But if you're on a test bench, and you don't have a JAMA setup, this is pretty nice. And you know, I think I should make a test bench though. It's long overdue, because the way I test stuff, it's usually in the back of the game, and that's okay usually, but it is a bit of a hassle. So anyway, just Google Crafty Mech TPG if you want to learn more about this device. It's actually really nice. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you've never subscribed, go ahead, click subscribe now. It's, well, I release new videos on Sundays and sometimes in between. I'm trying to do at least 2 videos a week. You know, a Sunday video, a gameplay video, who knows, you know. And if you guys got ideas for videos, let me know. You know, I'm open to them. So I'm open to anything, any requests you have for a video. I'm open to hear it. So click subscribe if you've never subscribed. We're fast approaching 16,000 subscribers, which is pretty exciting. I would love to hit 20,000 subscribers by the summer. That is like a goal of mine, and I would love for that to happen. So like and share and comment. I don't know. Do whatever you need to do to get the word out. Tell your friends if they like gaming like you do. And, you know, check out my 2 podcasts, Video Game Outsiders at videogameoutsiders.com and Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. I do both of those podcasts live on allgames.com. And that's about it. I just sent a pile of CDs to Amazon yesterday. They should be available in about a week. I know we ran out of stock. And those are the Kill Screen science fiction movie CDs. I'm sure you guys have heard the music in the videos. But those should be at cdbaby.com and Amazon in about 10 days. I mailed them yesterday. I should have sent them like 2 weeks ago, but I never did. But anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and later, and bye.